So hello everyone. This is a demo session for business Gen AI Enterprise Gen AI for our upcoming training sessions. My name is Parthasarathi Goswami, and basically CTO of this next gen company.ai, and also a lead instructor of this acloudguruji.com. So the main idea here is whatever the learnings that we are having during our customer implementations while we are doing the different AI implementations or MVP POCs for our customers, all those things will be reflected in our particularly this training sessions. Okay, so all will be kind of like real world use case scenarios that we'll be going through this particular training sessions. Without further ado, let's start. First of all, it's very important to understand why we are so bothered about this enterprise Gen AI and what is this and how to solve the critical problems, especially in this enterprise different domains. So to understand that thing, particularly, probably we can walk through the different problem statements and so on. So for that, I will be quickly sharing my screen. I will be using the same device. That's the reason I'll just go out of my camera for some time. I'll be just unsharing this particular screen, sharing my other screen, start broadcast. Yeah, it is already appearing. Let me go to my notebook, open a new notebook. That's good. Now I can start quickly. In any enterprise, the main three pillars are people, product, and process, right? Can you use this pen? I hope you are able to see it. So the main three pillars are people, product, and process. So I'm going a little slow because I want everyone to accustom to the things, and then we will start the discussion sessions. And for any enterprise, there are actually different domains, modules, right? Like the inventory module, we do have inventory associated with the supply chain management associated with the purchase, procure to pay, and then the order to cash is related to the CRM, customer relationship management, and everything is resonating towards the finance. Finance is also having different domains like account receivable, account payable, and so on. To do business around different processes, modules, there are different improvement areas, right? So far we were doing the IT, we were doing the consulting, and we were trying to help our customers, right, in different area. So what are the improvement areas? We can improve on the user experiences. We can automate the different workflows. While processes and workflows, of course, it will generate more revenue. The center point of thing here is the data. The main thing that we will be dealing with here, it is data. So far we had our relational databases which generally stored in some database like HANA or Oracle. On top of the relational database, so far we have seen that we were able to build applications which were effectively helping to improve the business processes. Then what's the problem? Why we are so bothered about this AI, generative AI? Actually, the in the enterprise data is not only resides in the relational database, but to do business, different processes or different people, products or different, their style is different. So the data can be in different format, like through internet, through email, chat, social media. Your data can be in the Word document format. Your data can be in text format, PDF format like JSON, XML, and so on, and also image format, video format, audio format. To deal all this different set of data, right? Like this, internet-based data, then email-based data, then chat-based data. Our logical computer program is not so efficient to make sense out of those unstructured data, and those unstructured data carries lots of values. to improve the business processes, to automate and generate more and more revenue. Customers may place order through chat, through emails, and if you are manually doing those things, it is a very manual task, right? Instead of, if we can automate those things, first of all, we can improve the customer experience, and also we can avoid any kind of errors. It's not something like we did not have any other technology so far. We had technology. We were dealing with those kind of problems with AI ML, the traditional AI ML techniques, which were helping us at certain level, but it was not so sufficient to handle all those complex related problems. So that's the reason we are now having this large language model to solve all those kind of problems, and those are the main discussion topic area today. So what is this large language model? With some basic example, let's say that you are searching two different things like nutrition in Apple or revenue in Apple. While you are searching both the things related with Apple, if it is something a normal search, probably you will not be able to get the right kind of answer out of your data, whichever the format of data you have in your backend system. But now, as because our systems, especially let's say like Google, they are so much aware of the context. They know what does that mean. So it knows like when we are asking nutrition in Apple, it is a fruit, and revenue in Apple, it is a company. So this is now very much context aware. And to make these things more and more context aware, this large language model into coming into picture. And this particular large language model is based on a particular architecture. So which architecture was not there few years back. And don't worry if you are not able to understand something going forward. This is just a introductory session to make you introduced with these terminologies and so on. Everything will be discussed in details in our subsequent training sessions. Like this transformers, right? So transformer is the architecture behind our popular large language model like GPT. If we take GPT as a large language model, so transformer is the basic architecture. And this particular large language model like GPT, like you have seen probably chat GPT application out of GPT, which has been trained with all kind of open internet data with billions of parameters or trillions of parameters and trillions of tokens. What is this parameters, tokens? Probably this is a foreign term for you as of now, but again, I'm repeating, don't worry. Okay, everything I will be explaining in details and make sure that you will understand everything. So this parameters and tokens, they got it from the open internet data. And that's the reason whenever we are probably using, let's imagine this chat GPT application, we are giving any prompt there or instruction there, it is able to give you the relevant answers almost instantly because it knows the old data, okay, all the open data throughout the internet. It actually got trained and it now has the well aware of any kind of context. So that is the context awareness. The main problem with this particular GPT or any other large language model like Llama or Google Palm, they got trained with the open data. Open data in the sense open data available in the internet. But especially for our industrial use case scenario, for our enterprise use case scenarios, this model would not be sufficient to use it directly because those models do not have the domain knowledge. That is the main reason we will have to play our role to make the LLM models and use it in our enterprise solutions. And those are the things we will be learning throughout our training sessions. Let's go to the on level upper and see what is that. To deal with this kind of like uh, LLM models, foundation model we are talking about. Why these are the foundation model? Because they got trained with the all internet data. So that's the reason we are calling it as a foundation model. They have the baseline things. There are different techniques to actually adapt those models for our domain knowledge that we are saying that is missing there. What are those techniques? The prominent technique that will be mainly using RAG, because the industry is using RAG. This is the prominent thing while dealing with our enterprise domain related solutions. What is this RAG? RAG is our industry data or our enterprise data, domain related data or knowledge to those large language model, so that large language model can understand or start understanding our domain related problems or our enterprise related problems. So don't worry, those are the things I'll make sure that you will understand, and not only understand, we will also try to implement. We have the prominent use cases that we'll be implementing in our next month. Okay, so this is one of the techniques that we'll be using throughout, which industry is using. Almost 80% of the things will be handled through this RAG. 70-80% of the things will be handled through RAG. But there are certain other things like few short learnings, and not only this RAG and future learnings we'll be using throughout our training program to adapt those LLMs for our use case scenarios. What are the tools or technologies that we have to use to adapt those LLMs for our use cases? We will see the vector engine, because while we are saying that we will be augmented our industry data to the large language model, how to do those things? We'll be using some techniques like embeddings. Don't worry. So we will be putting different data in certain format into some database structure, and then make that particular database available to the large language model, so that it will have the context aware of our enterprise data. For that, we'll be learning more and more vector engine. We will be learning certain other technologies like LangChain, which will be a orchestration tool throughout our different processes. Also, we'll be creating different agent to automate the things, and to do each and everything, the baseline programming, the coding, that will be handling through Python, because that is the industry choice. You have question that I do not know Python, right? That is also not a topic to worry about. Okay, because we'll be starting from the very basic level of Python, like hello world, and we'll learn each and everything. So after building those custom solutions out of the LLMs or out of those Gen AI, we need to also deploy it, right? So where to deploy it? So we will be seeing those deployment part as well. We can deploy it to Azure, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, especially as because we will be mainly dealing with SAP. We will be actually deploying the things in SAP BTP in the AI core. Any questions around here? We will take it. Otherwise, we will move forward. Please take some time and ask your questions.
I got the Pradeep here.
Please.
Do we need to know any prerequisite for this, like SAP BTP? We need to know.
No prerequisite, but as because I was just discussing these things again and again. So ideally, if you know BTP, how it works and all, it will be easier for you to learn these things. At the end, you will be deploying something, right? So far, probably if you have dealt with ABAP, right, you must be aware of the GUI, different transactions, or probably Eclipse or HANA
Yes.
Studio and so on. It is better if you know something like how the things works and all, what is the services, APIs. If you have some understanding of APIs, that should be good enough.
Mostly we'll be learning Python then how to deploy the services into different AWS or cloud solutions.
Yeah, not only surveys. Okay, so we have to build the surveys. We have to build it because these do not have the domain data. We have to do the RAG. We have to do the fine tuning. We have to do the few shot learning. We have to apply those things. We have to create agents. And to all those things, we have to use this vector engine, lang chains, and of course Python. Those are the things.
Being a developer or a technical consultant with integration experience,
Mhm.
if I go ahead with this, and there are different team with HANA Analytics, S4 Analytics team. So what difference I will make in the business?
Yeah, so you will be building solutions, applications. I was talking about improving the process, automations. So improving process, you can generate reports. So probably the things will be more prominent while I'll be just showing the use cases that we'll be learning throughout the session because I think like that's the main reason people are joining here because we do have almost 9, 10 industry use cases which we'll be solving here.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys? If nothing else,
Uh,
probably I will.
just a question. Anything about hugging face or other stuff?
Of course, yeah, a lot of things actually. Thanks for this point. So, while I was talking about GPT, so right, I was talking about the open AI. So, we'll be learning open AI. We'll be learning different other open sources. Even we'll be learning Google Palm and also open
Okay.
source. So, we'll be saying the Llama models and other Hugging Face models because the at the end industry will go towards that direction as per my understanding because the data security thing is a major thing will be coming into picture. Will be trying to use this open AI through SAP BTP AI core, which is a secure thing. Your data will go to the internet. If you are not ready to send your data to the internet for any kind of fine tuning training purposes, still you wanted to make use of LLM, you can actually use open source Llama that is from Meta, Facebook. You can use it locally in your virtual machine without connecting to the internet. So when you are not connecting to the internet, definitely the data will reside within you. You're not sending it. So even we will be learning the application development using Llama model as well without connecting to the internet. So everything will be covered. So for each and every topic, like from GPT perspective, from RAG perspective, and from RAG perspective, let's imagine we're not only using HANA Cloud as our RAG engine, like vector engine, but also we'll be using ChromaDB. We'll be also using Pinecone. Okay, we can try to use the FIAS as well, which is industry standard. People are using those things. So for every places, we will not stick to a particular thing. So I think like probably well, I will be just moving into this SAP business, SAP BTP AI core. The things will be more clear. Why SAP is also seeing the things in that direction. Okay, let's move forward. And let me share back my other screen once again. Should we share? Don't worry about any of the thing because everything will be explained in very natural way so that everyone should be able to understand and grasp the things and then we'll move forward starting from the very basic level. We'll not jump into directly the LLMs and transformer. We'll start from baseline of machine learning and then gradually move to that direction. We should mainly know how SAP is actually progressing or thinking about this generative AI. So for that, SAP has come up with this SAP AI Core and SAP AI Launchpad. Okay, so for that, I'll practically try to show it. So hello everyone, this is a demo session for business Gen AI Enterprise Gen AI for our upcoming training sessions. My name is Parthasarathi Goswami and basically CTO of this nextgen company.ai and also a lead instructor of this acloudguruji.com. So the main idea here is whatever the learnings that we are having during our customer implementations while we are doing the different AI implementations or MVP POCs for our customers, all those things will be reflected in our particularly this training sessions. Okay. So all will be kind of like real world use case scenarios that we'll be going through this particular training sessions. Without further ado, let's start. First, everything will be explained in very natural way so that everyone should be able to understand and grasp the things, and then we'll move forward starting from the very basic level. We'll not jump into directly the LLMs and transformer. We'll start from baseline of machine learning and then gradually move to that direction. Anyway, so as because we are mainly from SAP background, we should mainly know how SAP is actually progressing or thinking about this generative AI. So for that, SAP has come up with this SAP AI Core and SAP AI Launchpad. Okay, so for that, I'll practically try to show it to you. And for that, I'll be just going to this SAP BTP cockpit, and I'll be logging it into my SAP BTP AI Core service that I have already instantiated here. Let me go to one of my sub account where I have the instance of the SAP AI Core service. Go to the instances of subscriptions. Here you can see I have this next gen AI Core, SAP AI Core with extended plan. Extended plan means like this is the top level plan which has like chargeability. So this is the AI Core instance, and another instance, another application that we need to actually go through this particular demo is SAP AI Launchpad. Let me just open that SAP AI Launchpad. I have already connected my SAP AI Launchpad to SAP AI Core engine. Just wait for all those use cases that we will be going through our training sessions. You have more idea about it, but let's just try to accustom with SAP technology first. So here you can see we under this machine learning operations, under the scenarios, we do have foundation models. And what are those foundation models? We do have foundation models from OpenAI, Azure OpenAI especially. Okay, SAP is tying up with Azure OpenAI, and they bring this foundation model. And there are other open source foundation model. It can come from other places like Llama or something else, or even Hugging Face, and also Google Vertex AI. Okay, so let's see one by one. If I just go inside Azure OpenAI, so you can see what are the different models under this Azure OpenAI we can use. We can use GPT 3.5 Turbo, GPT 3.5, 3.5 different models, and text embeddings. What is this text embedding and all? If you think that this is completely foreign terms for you, don't worry. So this is obvious. Okay, so going forward, you will understand each and everything clearly. And then if I just go back to the executables and open source, also there also we do have as of now Falcon model. Okay, so SAP will come up with different other models going forward. There could be many more models, many more technologies will be coming into picture, right? So how to actually cope up with those kind of like technical upgrades, technology upgrades, right? Because today probably you are using Azure OpenAI. Going forward, probably you need to use other models or replace those SAP OpenAI. So that's the reason SAP is saying deploy your solutions in these SAP AI Core, and then switch between different models whenever you need, because you can get everything in the same place, right? And not only that particular perspective, but also the security and integration perspective throughout your organizations, it will be easier for you if you are using SAP as your backbone. So for that, like we do have different foundation models, and on top of the foundation model, I have already configured this foundation models. I'll be creating more configurations going forward for our actual training, and then I have deployed some of the models for our usage. Let's say this GPT 3.5 and also text embedding. So this is now in running state. Okay, and now let's go and check out how we can use those models which we have instantiated in SAP AI Launchpad through the SAP AI Core engine. Okay, so for that, to just demonstrate one of the demo here, I just came up with this thing. So let's say this is the thing. Okay, so here we are using, you can see like SAP Gen AI Hub. So we are using some SDK where from we can get some more information for the SDK. Let's see those things as well. If you search SAP Generative AI Hub SDK Python, so you will get the things from PyPy. Okay? So the point is here, uh, let's say that you wanted to use this model, okay, next GPT 3.5, right? And if you wanted to use this particular model, it is also giving the URL, and you can use directly this particular URL as a API, and also you can interact with this particular model. That's fine. But as because SAP always tries to give you a compact solution for even developers as well, so that developers should more focus on the business use cases, right, rather than mainly focusing on coding part and something like that. So that's the reason SAP has come up with the SDKs. Okay, like this particular SDK. SDK is nothing but, you can imagine, those are if you are from a web background, those are different function modules, BAPIs, and so on. Okay, so that most of the functionalities are there. You have to use it. You have to know how to use it, how to pass the parameters, and how to tune those things, and then use it, right, in your own program. This generative AI SDK hub is the particular module that we'll be using it here. Okay, or package. This is not module, this is package. Okay, and SAP has also given some of the examples as well. Okay, for chat completion, for completion, and so on. So we'll be seeing lot of things going forward. LangChain is also core part of SAP AI Core, and LangChain will be mainly used for the orchestration perspective. There could be different use cases that we can solve, like embedding, chat completion, chat. So just to give you some idea, what is chat completion and chat? What is the difference? So just imagine that if you are using a raw LLMs, if you are giving some instruction there or just asking something, so it will not give you the answer in proper way. Okay, if you are asking something, it will just try to complete your question. Okay, that means like it will just elaborate your question itself. But that doesn't happen generally when you use ChatGPT application. It generally gives you the proper answer. That is because of the chat module. Okay, so because we have the chat model inside it, um, implemented on top of the LLM, that's the reason it is able to give you the proper answer. And also how to use the embedding. Those are the things probably we'll see now. Now let's imagine that I have this particular role. As of now, I'm just trying to just set up the stage that what are the things and what are the possibilities out there. So let's say like I'm giving the instruction that you are a Wikipedia of IT company who works in BTP and AI solutions. Now, as a user, I'm asking, tell me about next gen company. What are their pricing structure, rate card? Their website is this. I'm giving some instruction. Please answer short as possible. So what is this particular LLM? This ends with 13B. Let's go back and check our launchpad. 13B, this is nothing but our 3.5 turbo model. Okay, so from our SAP AI launchpad. Okay, OpenAI GPT 3.5 turbo model. Okay, so this is particular model ID that I am using it here. So there is no point actually copying these things because this will not work for sure for you. Okay, so now I am using this particular GPT 3.5 turbo model. I'm using SAP Generative AI Hub, and I am giving some instruction here. Okay, saying that NextGen company, as because I have introduced at the beginning, I'm the CTO of NextGen company who is actually implementing different AI use case scenarios like POCs and MVPs as well for different use case for different organizations. So this particular company recently got created. Probably our GPT do not have idea about this particular company. Okay, let's see how it actually will answer about it. So don't worry about this coding part as well. This has been written in Python, but if you are not familiar with Python, everything will get discussed from the beginning, like hello world Python kind of things. And now if I will just execute this particular Python code, here it is saying like, I'm sorry, but I do not have the specific information about NextGen company pricing structure. For the most accurate, up-to-date information, recommend to visit their website directly. Okay. So which is fine, absolutely fine, because it do not have the answer and because it did not got trained with those informations. Okay, so where are those informations? Probably like those informations, if they have already crawled my website and have done those things seriously, they would have answer for that. But as because they do not have answer for those things, and this is the ideal scenario, your industry, your enterprise data will not be there with LLMs like GPT. One second, guys. Sorry. So this is the proper use case probably. Okay. So there could be other scenarios as well, but this is one of the prominent scenario. Now, how to deal with this? For that, we'll be using RAG. Okay, let me switch back quickly to the RAG scenario. So for the RAG perspective, we can use different database like this one, vector engine, the HANA, Chroma, or something else. Let's imagine as because we were trying to handle the SAP specific scenario, we will be using HANA. For that also, what we have done is we have used the SAP Gen AI Hub SDK, and as well as we are using LangChain HANA connection there, embedding model, and this is LLM model. LLM model is 13B. There is embedding model as well. Okay, so LLM model will be responsible to complete your chat or to give the proper answer. This is 13B, ends with 13B. The model that we are using ends with 505, which is nothing but text embedding at a 002. Okay, which is also from OpenAI. Okay, text embedding. So there is a different model. Let's execute and see the demo first, and then we'll go to the actual explanation. This is the rate card, okay, of NextGen AI company. This is the information, some information of NextGen AI company, and also as because it do not have any information, and especially like this financial information. So let's imagine that I'll be just giving this particular data as well. I'm giving this particular information here in a text file as of now. Okay, probably we can store it in different other format as of now for our demo purpose. It is fine, absolutely fine. I'm loading this text file in my program, chunking the different information from the text file, and then I am embedding it. Okay, embedding. What is this embedding? Let's quickly first understand embedding as well. So embedding is nothing but the numerical representation of the textual information, revenue of Apple and calories in Apple. It is completely contextually different, right? But if you say that revenue of Apple and nutrition in orange, it is almost same. It is talking about the fruit. Revenue of Apple and employees in Samsung, both are talking about a company. Let's imagine that your model got trained with all those kind of like four information, how it will be storing in your database as a vector, as an embedding. This is a hypothetical way. Actually it will not happen like that. Okay, but this is the best way to understand how the embedding will work. Okay, so make sure you have that kind of like segregation of the actual thing and this hypothetical thing. Okay, so now here you can see there are different parameters. Okay, like related with phones is location, has stock, revenue, fruit, calories. These are the different parameters. So when I was talking about the parameters, you can see billions of parameter, trillions of tokens. What are those things? Like you are now gradually will be understanding. So these are the different billions of parameter. Actually, those large language model got trained with different context. If I will try to convert the thing revenue of Apple in terms of different parameter, or calories in Apple with in terms of different parameter, it might look like this then in numerical representation. Okay, so revenue of Apple. So you can see the revenue of Apple and employees in Samsung, it is almost same. It is related with phone, yes, one. Location, no. Has stock, yes. Revenue, yes, some number. It is 82 and 76. Is fruit, no, 0. And calories, no, 0. Okay, but you can see in Apple, calories in Apple and nutrition in orange, it is also like almost in similar way, right? Although the calories are different, otherwise both are fruit, but none of those are related with phones or revenues or stocks. Okay, so this is how everything, if you just store it in computer, it should be stored in numerical format. So although this is very hard to believe, like, as because we are used to see this chat GPT, when we are asking anything in a plain English, it is giving us the answer directly in plain English. It is very hard to actually believe, like, definitely it will happen or not. But actually the things are happening in the computation way. They are storing everything. I was talking about the world open data, though all those data got stored in numerical format like this with different parameters. Now, in our custom use case scenario, as because the LLM, especially this Open AI GPT 3.5 turbo model, is not aware of next gen AI information, okay, all those kind of informations. So those are the reason I'll be storing those things in somewhere, so that I'll just infuse those information to LLM and ask the related questions going forward. And LLM will also not able to understand the plain text. They need the numerical representation of the information. So for that, we will be first embedding the things, like converting those textual information into the numerical representation and store it somewhere. And to store the things, we'll be using some data types in HANA database, okay, HANA cloud, especially here in our scenario. So that is the thing that we are doing. Okay, quickly move forward. Then what we are doing, like, after embedding those things, we are storing the things in HANA database, and then giving the instruction like this: you are a Wikipedia, the same information. You are a Wikipedia of IT companies who works in BTP and AI solutions. Tell me about next gen company. What are their pricing structure, rate card? The website is this. Please answer as short as possible, because I don't want it to burn a lot of tokens and so on. Because whenever you will be using those kind of like paid model, everything will be associated with tokens, like what, how many tokens that you are actually using. Based on that, they will be charging to you. What is this token and all, I will be just quickly show it in some time. Okay, don't worry. So now, before that, what I'll do is I'll open the HANA cloud as well, because I wanted to show you how it will look like inside the HANA cloud database. My HANA cloud is in trial, not in my productive account. Okay, so that is fine. I'm not able to open this. Go to this trial quickly. In between, if you have any questions, probably I can take it forward very quickly. Not an issue. Let me go to the instances.
Yeah, hi Partha. Partha, like, what is this RAG? As you said, like, is it used to train a particular organization related data?
Yes, that is a true. Okay. The RAG is that technique. You can actually use your own custom data, like your organization data, to train or use along with the LLM models. Okay, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
We are actually keeping our organization data, like next gen company data, in a text file, embedding it in a numerical format, and then we'll ask, hey LLM, use this particular information. When going forward, anyone will be asking any question, there will be complex more in details.
Okay. Okay.
What is this? Let me go to this database explorer. Let it open, and now let me quickly switch back and try to execute it. Or let me see if my HANA cloud is up and running. Now what I'll do is I'll be executing this particular program, Python. This is rag HANA, rag tab, and then execute it. It is trying to go to this particular next gen rate card information, trying to convert all this textual information into numerical format and saving it into database. It was using the instruction that I was giving here. Okay, and then it was going to LangChain, and LangChain is kind of like orchestration, the whole orchestration mechanism tool. And then it was going to the RAG engine, pick up the relevant information, giving it to LLM model, and then come out of LLM model with the proper answer, and then it is throwing out to me. So what is the proper answer here? Here it is saying next gen company. Which one I have executed? I have executed Chroma. Now it has contextually aware, but I was using the Chroma, which is another vector DB. Let me just try to execute HANA as well. Okay, or let me just clean all those things so that you will not get confused. And now Python rag chroma hana. Okay, so I'm executing this rag hana. So I am executing it. Now let's wait. This is a very simplest mm, demo here, although of course you will not be using kind of like this terminal window, this black window or something like that. Going forward, we'll be using proper user interface to actually interact with our data or whatever the use case that we'll be building. Okay, for sure. So it is giving me the response. Okay, so this was the query. You are Wikipedia of IT companies who works in BTP solution. Tell me about next gen company. What are their pricing structure, rate card? Okay, the website is this. Please answer in short as possible. Next gen technology specialized in digital transformation solution for enterprises, focusing on SAP ERP, SaaS, AI, and cloud technologies. Their pricing structure for engineers ranges from $20 to $80 per hour based on their experience level. For more details, visit nextgencompany.ai. It is taking like what kind of company it is, and the pricing structure. Because I have given the instruction, your answer should be concise. That's the reason it is not giving me the detail level of information, but it is saying okay, so it ranges from $20 to $80, like that. Okay, what about the instruction that will be how this data got stored? It is not taking the data from this text file directly, for sure. How it is actually stored in the database? Let's check that first. Okay, quickly. So if I'll just execute this one, and you can see this is the embedding in next gen. So this is the particular database table that got created. Where is that? The tables. Yeah. So this is the table got created, and if you just open this table, open the data. So you can see like here, this is the actual data type, real vector. If I'll just open the data should look like this. But if I'll just give you some more readable format, this should look like this. Let me see. Yeah, so here you can see the information that is very important to understand. I have given the chunk size 500. What is this chunk size? Let's see how it is. Let's imagine these are the information. Let's see that as well, because that is also very important. Where is the chunk size? To calculate any chunk, especially if you are using GPT 3.5 model, you can go to this particular website, tokenizer, and if I will just give the informations, whatever the informations I have given it here, and let's imagine like hello, sorry, hello, how are you? If I wanted to check how many chunks are there are 4 tokens. And if I'll just so that means like each and every word is taken as a token here. Okay, and everything is related to token, you can see. And here you can see there are 222 tokens. It got divided into different chunks. Let me just switch back to the HANA cloud. Where is that? Not able to see these things. Database. Okay, so it got divided into 3 chunks, and you can see there are 3 rows got created. Okay, so the first row, it is taking this much information, and second row it is taking this much of information, and the third row it is taking this much of information with the pricing details. Okay, and my answer is coming both from like I think like almost from everywhere. Okay, or mainly from the second and third. Okay, so this is the second, like the what is the company is all about, it talks about this one. And then the pricing details, it is coming from this chunk. Okay, and every chunk is actually stored it into this particular embedding format, which is numerical representation I was talking about. And then this particular chunk also represented in a numerical format. And LLM only understand this numerical data. Okay, actually computer understand numerical information. Actually computer understands 0 and 1. Okay, at the end. This is the way that we are trying to actually infuse our information to LLM, and then LLM will be giving the response back. Okay, so this is the simplest thing. Okay, I think you got some idea now. Now let's move forward and let's try to check, like, so that means like we'll be using different models like GPT-3, GPT, llama 3, Mistral, Hugging Face, all those kind of models, Hugging Face, different open source models. And what are those models, what are those speeds, quality parameters, you can check it from here. Okay, quickly we will discuss in details in subsequent sessions, and why we are actually trying to use those particular customization like we have done in a particular scenario, right? Because it did not have the domain knowledge. It happens that if the LLM models, the foundation LLM models do not have the answer, it will still try to give you some kind of answer. We do not want any false answer. If LLM don't know anything, it should say I don't know, right? So for those kind of scenario also, we need to fine tune, or we need to do this RAG or instruction tuning, and also training date cutoff. Even though if we are trying to check some information which is already available in internet openly, still probably many of the scenarios LLM will not have the knowledge, because LLM training itself takes some time, like 4 to 5 months, because it trained with lots of data. Whatever the things happens recently, that those informations did not trained inside the available LLMs, because anyways, like those LLMs got released some days back, and it takes time to actually got trained with those data. So those are the things, like this fine tuning, RAG and instruction tuning, those are the things mostly we'll be doing as a AI engineer, probably going forward in our enterprise. Okay, and the different techniques, like we have seen this RAG techniques just as a very simple example. Then we'll see fine tuning techniques, we'll see instruction tuning techniques, and so on. And we have seen LangChain. We will be actually looking into different industry use case, different enterprise use case from different domains like P2P, HCM, SCM, OTC, AP, finance, AR, and so on. Okay, so I'm just trying to highlight some of them, and then I'll go to two of the demo again, another two demo. Okay, so which is kind of like reflection, like whatever the things that you will be learning throughout our training. But one more thing, probably you will be more interested and try to more understand the things, is this one. Okay, so the course content. The course content is associated with these things. Okay, these three slides, and we'll start from the very basic level. You can see we start from phase one with basic Python, then we'll understand the SQL basics, and then instead of directly jumping into generative AI and those vector engines, embeddings, LLMs, and so on, we'll try to understand the baseline of AI MLs. Okay, start with the regression, classification, prediction models. With every phase, not only the conceptual part, we'll do some kind of hands-on. Let's say like we'll be actually building Python, so we will be learning Python basics. There also we'll try to build small applications in Python itself, so that you have complete idea how the things will work, not only like hello world, but we'll start with hello world for sure. So this is how the training will move forward. Probably you can check it later on as well from our website. And then we'll also go into this NLP, because the baseline is NLP, natural language processing, for our language model, large language model. And then gradually we'll be moving into the generative AI with the foundation part, and also we'll see different LLMs like GPTs, Mistral LLM, Hugging Face, open source LLMs. Also, then we'll be seeing detail level of LangChain, because this is very important. We'll spend more and more time in LangChain, maybe like 4 to 5 hours itself, or maybe like two dedicated session itself with LangChain and vector engine. And then how to use the local LLM, so that your data should not go to the internet without any internet and without any security compromisation. You can actually use LLM for your enterprise use case scenarios. Like we'll be using Llama 3 model, 7 billion model. The use cases, which will not only try to not only help you to understand the this particular training better, but also it will give you boost in your career as well. You can take those projects as a reference for your company, organization, wherever you are working, and you can showcase your skills. Okay, you can build different POCs, MBCs, MVPs out of it. So those use cases consist from different modules. Like modules means like HCM, SCM, P2P, finance, AP, AR, OTC, all different SAP modules, or maybe ERP modules. SAP is not only sorry, ERP is not only about SAP. You can apply these things to any other enterprise as well. Okay, so we will be building chatbots, the kind of like customer facing chatbot. We'll be using like PDF based financial data analysis. Let's imagine this is the financial use case. So you have the bank statement. We'll try to analyze those bank statement and try to tally the things like credit debit kind of things, and then we'll try to see some of the intelligent database engine, query engine. That means, like, let's imagine that you have hundred thousands of tables in SAP. We do have more than 2 lakhs of tables. How to query those tables in a natural language way and get information out of it? Let's imagine I wanted to see. I will give you one demo as well at the end of this particular session. But let's imagine that you wanted to see what are the open sales orders are there, right? Or what are the open sales orders are there from last 3 days. Whatever the query, it will go to different database tables like VBAP, AK, and VBAP, and so many other tables, and it will try to find out the relevant information from you. And then we'll try to implement some other use cases like with the Google Gemini, like duplicate invoice check. So there will be reconciliation things generally happens manually in the account payable process in finance, right? So duplicate invoice check, maybe your vendors, your suppliers are sending the invoices in different mediums. How to actually protect the duplicate payment to the suppliers, right? So which is a big loss for your company. So for that, your AP department generally do these things manually many times. How to automate those things like duplicate invoice check? We'll be using Google Gemini there, and then also supplier or customer recommendations is customer segmentation and recommendation. What kind of product that you will be targeting to what kind of customers in which season? So all those kind of things we'll be actually seeing. Even vendor recommendation engine, if you are purchasing some product raw material from your suppliers and vendors, which vendor you have to actually go for and who can supply the materials in the fastest way. So all those different parameters we will be actually seeing. And also like the use cases, example from HCM use cases or maybe like success factor use cases. If you wanted to actually scan the resumes of the candidates and get the best candidates out of, like, let's say like 50 100 candidates, so how to actually scan different things, different like resumes quickly and sort out the best candidates out of those. So you can see like all those automation use case, all those analytical use case, all those prediction use cases, all those reporting use cases, right? So all those even workflow use cases, right? So all those things we are trying to implement here in our particular training sessions. And not only that, we will also focus on the data security part. Although we are saying that we will be doing the llama 3 7B model, which will not be connected to the internet, which is secure. But let's imagine that you are wanted to use different other model or specific use cases. Let's imagine that you have use case that you are refreshing your quality data with your production data. That happens generally in any organization, right? Time to time. So whenever you are copying from your production data to quality, how you can ensure that your sensitive information will not copy directly to the quality data. How to do those things? Like we'll do the data anonymization and then we'll store it into quality database, right? Those are the things we'll be also learning there. And after learning everything, of course, part the CICD part will be saying this AI Core, AI Launchpad, AI SDK. So which is coming from SAP, and also we'll try to deploy the things in other cloud as well. So this is the overall picture of our training. So I hope you got some idea now. Let's quickly jump into two last demo very quickly, and so that I can give you some more context, and then we'll wrap up this particular session. For that particular demo, again, I'll go to my website. So our guys were building some of the application. Let's imagine this GPT chat. This is also another reflection of the use cases. We will try to understand end-to-end things. Every use case will be having this kind of architecture, solution design, and then we'll try to implement the things in practical way. Okay, and also deploy the things as well. This particular use case is something about analyzing using our LLM, and RAG model. So similar use cases, documents like in PDF format. I have already shown some of the small demo there previously. We are chunking out those data, and why we are doing this chunking? Because LLM models have some limited token size. Your documents will be huge. If you are giving some unwanted information to LLM, you are actually burning your money. Everything will be associated with the token. So how many token that you are using? Based on that, the LLMs will be charging to you, or SAP AI Core will be charging to you. So that we are chunking the data and vectorizing it. Whichever the question that user will be asking, we will be doing the similarity search, like cosine similarity. Based on the similarity, we will be searching. You do have hundreds of chunk, and out of hundreds of chunk, based on the user query, so the similarity will be associated with five chunks. We will be extracting only those five chunks informations and then sending it to LLM model. Instead of sending all those chunks, we will overcome the token size limit of LLM and prevent those huge charge from those so from those GPT models or LLM. These are the main three reasons. After that, while we have relevant information given to the OpenAI, then OpenAI will be sorry. In this particular scenario, we have used OpenAI, but generally in any kind of like GPT model, then it will based on the user question, it will try to answer you accordingly, like we have seen earlier as well. Let's see if it is up and running or not. Otherwise, we'll switch back to some other demo. It is up and running. Let's say like I'm just dropping this particular piece. So you can see the user interface is doesn't looks good here, but that doesn't matter as of now. But let's see. This particular information got loaded here. You can see the questions that you will be asking now out of this particular PDF. This is a CV actually. What are the skill set they have? If I just ask, it will try to answer the relevant questions as I was trying to explain with this particular architecture. It is actually taking my question into embedding, and then it also has the embeddings out of this particular data. And for this particular embeddings, I have used the Pinecone. We're not only using this HANA as a vector engine. There are actually reasons that why we are not only using the SAP technologies. I'll tell you that as well. Pinecone is another vector DB, which you can find it here, how it got stored, the information here. If I'll just go this chat PDF, and you can see here also we have the informations into different chunks, which is actually stored into this kind of vectors. This much information is stored with this kind of vector, like this numerical representation. I think you got some idea. Now this is the answer that it is actually extracting out of those PDF information. These are the skill part I have. I think you got some idea. Now let's move forward to the second demo. So what is the second demo is all about? Let's imagine that you have your SAP table. Your SAP tables generally comes with different arbitrary names, right? Like Mara is for material master, KN1 for customer master, VBAP for sales order related data, and so on, right? EKKO for purchase order related data, and so on. So how to deal with this thing? Because first, these are little different naming convention, and second thing is your data is generally is not available to the internet, right? To LLM. So to handle this particular use case, we'll have almost similar approach. We will try to use the as it is data from the SQL database. So why this embeddings? Because we will be doing some kind of few shot learning to actually improve the process. We will be trying to give some few shot learning because you have your table names in different format. This is one of the example I'm giving. There could be many example. For that we have to go for the few shot learning. So we'll just teach the machine. We'll give the information to the LLM. Okay, so whenever there is a Mara, that means it is a material information. That means whenever user will ask anything about material, you go to the Mara table. Okay, like that sample things will be actually training to our LLMs. Okay, so for that, first of all, we again the techniques is same. We'll be embedding all those few shot examples, storing into the database, and then we'll passing those information to LangChain whenever required, like that. And at the end, it will search to the through the actual database. Let's say that I have the data in this particular format. Let's imagine that Postgre database is hosted here. Okay, chat with SAP table editor. Let's imagine that you have all those data stored in this particular different tables. Okay, like order tables having order information, like order ID, order date, the shipping status, and customer ID and so on, order details like this, the product details like this. And take another vector, I mean normal database. So this is a cloud solution where I have my Postgre database hosted. Let me just move to the dashboard and chat with SAP. Let's imagine that you have sales information table like order related tables. We have customer tables, employee tables, office tables, order details tables, and then order table. This happens on these dates and the status, the shipment status, and so on. Okay, and who is the customer and so on. So every table has their own relations with each other. Right? We have these product tables and so on. So now building applications on top of this, how we can actually build applications using LLM on top of this structured data like this table data, tabular formatted data, right? So for that, I am trying to give you another demo here. In this particular demo, what we are trying to do is in our LLM, so whenever we are trying to search different things, it has the capability to generate SQL. So if you are asking, give me the SQL query for this, okay, like, okay, how many customers have an order count greater than 5, or what is the highest selling product, whatever it is, right? Based on our data, the LLM model can give you the SQL information. How we can orchestrate these things to our own databases? For that, we can use LangChain. So here also we have used LangChain. And LangChain has the SQL agent, LangChain has the SQL database chain, and also LangChain has few shot prompt templates. What is this few shot prompt template? It will actually help you to overcome the hallucination. What is this hallucination? Let's imagine that if this particular query, if I'm just asking, I do not have the proper data or proper table itself in our database, it will still it will try to answer me in some way, which is a wrong answer, right? I don't wanted to get those kind of answer. I wanted to make our application as perfect as possible. But in SAP, so our database table names are different, right? VBAC is sales order header table. Okay, VBAC is sales order item table. Okay, Mara is material table. This foundation model don't have the knowledge of SAP related terminology. We can give certain examples to our model to make them understand user about sales order. It should actually query VBAK, VBAP. How it will be actually matching when actual user will query the vector database. Embedding things will be coming into the picture. LLM don't understand textual things. LLM only understands numbers behind the scene, right? So everything should be converted into numbers. In those future learning also, we have to embed into a vector database. It will be actually hitting the LangChain and it will be hitting the SQL agent with the help of LLM. It will try to generate the query. Also, it will try to see if there are any future learning or not. If there is some future learning, it will try to prioritize those future learning. This future learning will influence the result. It has the proper structured query, the SQL query. It will go to the actual database and try to find out the appropriate result. And whenever it has the appropriate result, then we can reformat it and give it to the user. We wanted to give the user back in a normal textual result. We can do it. We can give the result in a JSON format. Let me run these things as well. Okay, so that you will have certain idea as well. This particular application is built on also those LangChain, LLM, prompt engineering, vector engine, embeddings, and so on. We have used OpenAI as our foundation model. And the output that you'll see using Streamlit. So what is Streamlit and all? So we'll actually learn those things in our initial days itself, like the Hello World Python. We'll gradually learn a few lines of code. We'll be able to actually get this kind of output. This is also another chat application. How many orders we have? It is going to the LangChain, and this LangChain using the different embedding based model. It is actually converting my string into the numerical format, and whatever the things are stored, the future learnings are stored in my databases. It is also trying to match all those things and also trying to come up with the relevant queries, and then it is going to the LLM again and generate the actual final query, and then going back to the
actual relational database and try to find out the result. So we have a total of 8 orders. So let us check whether we have the 8 orders or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we do have 8 orders. So it is actually giving me the appropriate result. I have to give some more idea. So what are the course curriculum? Don't worry if you are getting overwhelmed with all those terminologies, technologies, and so on, because the world is moving in that direction. If you will not learn these things, someone else will grab your job. Okay, for sure. Because let's imagine in SSC, you are building your SSC report. In ABAP, you are building your ABAP report. Just I'm giving some example. Okay. So going forward, those things should be converted into LLM solutions. If you are not doing, someone else, whoever have the understanding, the knowledge, the experience, they will do it. This is the way it is very important for everyone to understand and learn these technologies. We'll start from very basic. We'll start from the basic Pythons. Okay, even you can see the data types and all those very small things. As because it is very important to understand the database as well. So that's the reason SQL basic is also a little bit will be understanding. I know you are already aware of the SQL, but still we don't have any idea about SQL. Before jumping into these LLM technologies like all those vector engines, semantic search, LLM, and LangChain and so on, we have to have our baseline clear. Like what is this AI/ML basics? Like what are those things I was talking about? Like the statistical model, neural network, and then gradually we will be going to the transformer and GPT models. We'll start with this regression, classification, prediction, use cases, and do hands-on. Okay, everything will be hands-on so that we will understand clearly as a use case perspective. You should be familiar with Git, how to build the end-to-end application using the Streamlit, how to build the user interfaces. That is also based on Python. Then we'll try to learn the NLP because the large language model is the advanced version of NLP. Right? We'll also try to learn all those kind of things like TF-IDF and so many little. Then we'll jump into the generative AI fundamentals. We'll start from the transformers, we'll go into the different foundation models, GPT-4, Mistral, Llama, different open source models from Hugging. We'll also try to implement different small use cases. Although more conceptual, theoretical thing, but for each topic we'll be doing hands-on. We'll not build end-to-end use case in this first 4 weeks. We'll do the actual use cases, the 10 prominent use case solutions in our last 4 weeks. But in the first week, we'll do different small unit-wise hands-on. So we'll do like different things like embeddings, vector engine for different databases. I was talking about HANA database, there's ChromaDB, PG Vector, and so on, and LangChain fundamentals like how to debug the things, how to use the Langsmith, Langserve, and so on, LangChain community, oppose, and then the different other local LLM models, because it is also very important going forward. That is the majority of the industry that is asking question, what about the data security? You can omit that particular doubt in a single go if you are running the model locally in your on-premise. Everyone will be claiming, like Microsoft will be claiming, I am wrapping the OpenAI GPT model in my Azure OpenAI. And then SAP saying, I am altogether wrapping everything in my AI core. But at the end, it is hitting the internet. But if you will be able to actually use the local LLM, even there is no question even to connect to the internet. And whenever you are not connecting to the internet itself, there is no question about the security as well. Security will be inbuilt itself using your firewall. In the next 4 weeks, we'll be actually going through all those industry use cases, like the building different chatbot, like the customer service chatbot, okay? Or you can actually build the applications using the financial data, like the financial report. Let's imagine the bank statement. Okay, so we will be building application on top of the bank statement. Okay, company's bank statement data. We'll be building applications using the databases. Like what are the databases that we can use, right? Let me see. We'll also learn different other techniques like the invoice use cases, how to find the duplicate invoice. If your vendors are sending the invoices into different channels, how to consolidate the things so that you're not ending up paying more to the vendors or suppliers, how to find out the duplicate invoices, how to find the recommendation. I mean, what are the recommended customers that you wanted to uh, run the advertisements for to sell your product, right? The recommendation engine, also vendor recommendation. Please mute yourself. You have different suppliers for to get different products for your company, right? Who is actually supplying the product in optimal price, who can supply within time, and so many other parameters. We will be building the recommendation system, vendor recommendation systems, and also the some HR use cases like the resume scanning. We will try to find out like what is the best match for the particular job role, what are the best matches for particular job role. So those are the use cases we'll try to learn. We'll try to learn how to anonymize the data. The security scenarios first will be coming into picture. Let's imagine the scenarios that are having the data copy. Many times it happens that you are copying your production data to quality landscape, the production refresh, generally call it. Instead of directly copying the data as it is from production to quality, how we can augment, anonymize the personal information like the customer information, customer sensitive information, the vendor sensitive information, bank sensitive information, the finance sensitive information, anonymize it, and then putting it into the quality system. Those are the things we will be learning at the end after building the application, how you will be deploying your application in a production grade landscape. Those are the things you'll be learning throughout our sessions. So that's it, guys. If you have any question, we can take it. Otherwise, see you there in the actual session.